All right.
If I'm going to do something, I'm not going to do it halfway. I'm going to do it 200%.
All right. So with saying that, now that you're somewhat of the old school or past generation women's wrestler, what do you think about the WWE's Diva division in relation to the TNA Knockouts division, or even if you heard of Chick Fight or Jimmy Hart's new promotion, WrestleLicious? That's been making news as of late.
Oh, I definitely think, well, things just change. But one thing I think they definitely need a more mature, sexy female as myself. Definitely.
Okay.
But, no, things can never change the same. But I do like to see when they mix up, when they have the demographics of what the crowd's like. That's what I think really works, and the shock factor.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're talking about all of them in general, whether it's WWE,
yeah,
TNA.
All in general,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you meet Steve Austin, and how did you two first become involved, if you don't mind sharing that?
Oh, that's funny, because I never, ever, ever crossed my career with my personal life. That's something I know not to do in this business.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was after a whole year, and this is after I traveled on the road, and I'm at the house shows and the TV tapings with The Rock and Steve and Val and Tess and The Undertaker and China. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden it was like over a year, and I never really even talked to Steve Austin. And then one day Steve was talking to one of the guys in the hall and was kidding around with the guy and gave him a hug, and I was just walking by, and I said, wow, so you're just not going to give me a hug either? And he gave me a hug, and then it was that feeling of, oh, this feels kind of good. And Steve felt it too, and that's when we started flirting with each other. And then, of course, you're trying to hide it from everyone else, and everyone's noticing that we're talking to each other more, and then we started dating.
Of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be inducted into WWE's Hall of Fame this coming April, the night before WrestleMania. But you've been very vocal about Stone Cold and the steroid issue as of late. Would you care to speak on that?
Well, the difference is, unfortunately, in this type of business that I'm in, it's show business. And the bad part is when you have a marriage, you're both in the same business, and you have a marital problem, and there are, steroids involved in this. And this is such a personal issue, and what happened to me with the domestic abuse, and it's a very embarrassing issue to where when you're dealing with this, it's on TV, and this is your personal life, too. So it makes it like 5 times as traumatic because your whole personal life is out there for everyone to hear about. But I am, like I said, I've been a big spokesperson on domestic abuse and, the steroids and all that.
Right. It's almost like you have to get your story out there as being so you can teach others.
One thing I've turned this into, you might as well turn something bad into something good.
Something good, exactly.
And I can't help what happened to me, but I figure, well, what I can do is educate myself, which I have, and talk to other young girls. And again, this whole domestic abuse, this stuff can happen with the woman hitting a guy, or the guy hitting the girl, or a gay couple. So I've learned how it's all could, happen. And a lot of pregnant people it happens to. And so I'm just trying to take the bad that happened to me and turn it into a good.
Austin is currently working on his other half of his chapter, I guess, a movie making. What do you think of his current Hollywood success?
One thing about Steve, what happened to us in our personal life wasn't so good, but on the entertainment side, I know one thing, Steve is a great entertainer, and he is, a great wrestler, and I'm so happy to see that things are doing good for him in the movie business, because that's something he really, really wanted and was really working hard at.
Okay. And now moving to what's been going on the internet for some time now. It's this fan movement. You've been very vocal recently about wanting to become a member of TNA. Has there been any interest expressed from TNA, though?
So far, I don't know, but I know one thing. I need all of the fans to keep saying they want Debra back, because I think what's missing now is just one thing I do know about wrestling. Fans love to be involved with this kind of decision.
Mm-hmm.
And the fans know what they want to watch and who they love to see. And I think now it gives the fans a chance to say, hey, we want to see Debra back, just to shock everyone, just to shake things up.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I'm definitely good at causing some trouble.
Now, have you spoken with Jarrett or Dixie Carter?
No. So that's why I need all the fans to keep emailing TNA.
Now, where would
have the Debra sign?
Where would you see yourself in the company? How would you fit in your opinion?
Well, definitely a power role, because I'm a very confident, experienced female,
mm-hmm.
being married to the top guy in wrestling, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Absolutely.
And seeing how the company, how it works, the backstage, the inner workings of the company. Mm-hmm. I think definitely a power role.
Have you been keeping up with the storylines that's going on in TNA? What do you think of the Main Event Mafia?
No, I think definitely a sassy, strong female like me needs to be involved with that.
What do you think about that, Dave? I agree with her, actually.
I can talk the talk and walk the walk.
Well, I actually agree with you. I definitely agree with you. Although Jeff Jarrett is not a part of the Main Event Mafia. He's more against the Main Event Mafia over in TNA. But that'd be a great storyline. That'd be a great storyline.
You never know.
It definitely would be a great storyline.
You know how this wrestling business is? It is just crazy.
Absolutely.
What keeps all the fans addicted? I mean, it's like, it's so addictive to watch, especially, I know when I watch it, I love it when things are just a shock. It's a shock value.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I can't believe that's happening. That's crazy.
But just like on Monday, I couldn't believe something was happening. But we'll talk about that later on. The Christopher Atkins film.
Oh, I am telling you what, you guys would be so impressed with me. I was shocked with myself. I had to, I had to dye my hair back to my original brunette color.
Uh-huh.
Then I had to learn how to fight with a sword, and the sword weighed about 7 pounds.
Wow. So what is it? What is the movie about?
It's really cool. It's a PG for kids. It's a medieval movie, and it's this kingdom. We've saved this kingdom from the demons and these undead skeletons and bad people, and we had these swords, and they give us these superpowers. Mm. And my role, I'm the barbarian.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, were you one of the undead?
It's so different than my wrestling character.
Okay, I see. Of course, we want to plug the TNA fan movement that Debra is going through right now. Send emails to TNA expressing you want to see Debra on TNA, for crying out loud.
That's right. The fans can make this happen.
Debra, I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, feel free anytime to call me.
Thanks a lot.
OWW Radio.
Hi, this is Debra, formerly WWE Women's Champion and WWE Diva. You are listening to OWW.
All right, where do you go to find downloadable professional wrestling on demand? One site, clickwrestle.com. Whether it's male or female, mixed, you want some free videos, wrestlers, and the catalogs that follow, clickwrestle.com. Featuring wrestling matches involving Claudio Castagnoli, Art Cannon, cheerleader Melissa American Dragon, Daphne Chris Hero, and many more. ClickWrestle.com matches are now only $2.95 the purchase. $2.95. You can't go wrong with $2.95. Just log on to www.clickwrestle.com. ClickWrestle.com. He's a man who has wrestled around the world for countless organizations. In a career spanning over 4 decades, he's a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a multiple-time tag team champion, a revered trader, a member of the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, a member of the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame, and soon to be a member of the WWE Hall of Fame Class of 2009. OWW Radio wrestling legend Dory Funk Jr. Dory, welcome to OWW Radio.
Nick, thank you very much for that introduction. What a terrific job you did, and I'm very pleased to be here on OWW Radio because I know we're reaching out to lots and lots of wrestling fans.
Absolutely.
And those are the ones that I really need to thank for being inducted into the Hall of Fame.